Good evening and welcome to Newsline. I'm Broede Carmody.
And I'm Matilda Marozzi. Coming up this evening, RMIT to go smoke-free in 9 days, and would you pay more for your phone to make sure those who made it were paid properly?
But first, students marched across the country today to protest against the federal government's proposed changes to higher education. The National Union of Students aims to draw attention to the government's plans to cut tertiary education funding and deregulate university fees. Prime Minister Tony Abbott cancelled a visit to Deakin University in Geelong today. Last night, Education Minister Christopher Pyne told ABC TV he didn't want innocent bystanders to be molested by protesters. The cancellation follows heated scenes at other universities, with both the Foreign Minister Julie Bishop and former Liberal frontbencher Sophie Mirabella heckled by students in recent days.
And now to the latest international news with Samantha Winnicki. And Sam, there has been unrest on the streets of Thailand.
Yes, Matilda. Thailand's caretaker Prime Minister Niwat Thamrong Boonsongpaisan has called for fresh elections to end the political turmoil in the country. The move comes after the military's shock announcement of martial law yesterday, surprising even the government, with the military deployed on main intersections around the nation. This comes after months of street protests against government corruption. Army Chief General Prayut Chan-o-cha says that martial law will remain till peace and order is restored. Still overseas, and more than 100 people have been killed in a car bombing in Nigeria. 2 bombs ripped through a central marketplace in the city of Jos, a predominantly Christian part of the city. Suspicion is likely to be directed at Islamist militia group Boko Haram, which has also claimed responsibility for the abduction of almost 300 girls last month. And back home, the Murray River has been named the worst river for drownings in Australia. 43 have drowned in the Murray River over 10 years, according to Royal Lifesaving Australia. Alcohol played a role in 1/3 of all recorded drownings. And that's it from me.
I couldn't do without my smartphone. But just how much do we know about the conditions in which these fancy gadgets are manufactured? A survey into tech giants such as Apple, Samsung and Nokia has found that in many instances, workers' wages don't meet their basic needs. Workers in countries such as China, India and South Korea are not even being paid minimum wage. Of course, if wages were increased, it would increase the cost of these for us here in Australia, but that's been shown to be as little as $9. How much more would you be willing to pay for your smartphone to ensure that workers' minimum wages in the Asian country that they're made in would be met?
I don't know how much I pay for it right now, but I don't really think about it.
It may be hard for someone who's for middle income to spare that extra $9.
Is that a good phone?
Yes.
So you'd certainly be willing to pay $9, I gather. Would you be willing to pay $9 more for a smartphone to ensure that?
Sure. Yeah.
It depends. I would like to know that the money gets to the person.
Probably in first world countries they may, but everywhere else they probably wouldn't.
What about your classmates? Do you reckon they'd be willing to pay $500, or are you the kind one?
Yeah, I guess.
But personally, I wouldn't mind if it is going for a good cause.
Universities across the country are vowing to become healthier places to study by soon going smoke-free. But while the Victorian Health Minister has applauded the move, there are doubts over whether the bans will be enforceable. Simon Love has this story.
They're outside buildings and all over the courtyards, students lighting up to get their fix of nicotine. But university management will soon put an end to the pastime, with a campus-wide smoking ban to be enforced from World No Tobacco Day.
We hope it will be a healthier, cleaner environment for all staff and students.
It comes after Swinburne and Melbourne universities banned smoking. At Deakin, the campus-wide ban is keeping the smoke out of large congregation areas.
There are no longer big plumes of smoke out the front of the library. There are less cigarette butts in gardens. There are less cigarette packets littering the side of the walkways.
But some things never change, with naughty students hiding behind the shelter shed. Now they may not only have to hide from the teachers, but also other students who are meant to dob in the smokers. While health groups believe the smoking bans will make universities a cleaner, healthier and safer environment, students think it's intimidating to ask their peers to butt out.
No, because I'm a first year and I'm inadequate.
I like it, keeps me nice and healthy, but it's going to be very hard to enforce because at university you can't really give out detentions and stuff.
I personally don't like smoking. I've never smoked myself, but it's their decision, but they should probably listen to the rules.
RMIT says it won't dish out fines to enforce the ban, rather placing resources into an awareness campaign. The Cancer Council and the Health Minister agree while it may be hard to police, they have to try.
And I think these universities that have taken this step deserve to be commended.
So anything that we can do as a society to prevent people from dying from smoking-caused illnesses should be something that we all support, and we do.
RMIT will go smoke-free from May 31. Simon Love, Newsline.
Now Dragana has the latest in business news, and figures out today show our economy could be in for a tough time.
Yes, according to the Westpac Consumer Confidence Index released today, consumer confidence has slumped 6.8%, which is viewed as a negative reaction to the Abbott government's first budget. Consumer confidence is at its lowest level since 2011. In other news, Vodafone's woes continue, with fewer than 5 million consumers now subscribed to the service, after a loss of more than 1 million users last year. The deactivation of inactive accounts across Vodafone, 3 and Crazy John's is being blamed for the large decline. Previous experiences with poor coverage, slower speeds and a high dropout rate have encouraged strong consumer backlash over the years. Finally, Google has overtaken Apple as the world's top brand. The US search engine shot up in value, recording a 40% growth over the space of 1 year, according to Millward Brown's Top 100 Brands report. This result shows that Google's innovative investments, including internet eyewear accessory Google Glass, have been a major hit with consumers. I'll have to give that one a try. That's all for business. Back to Broede and Matilda in the studio.
Thanks, Dragana, and we'll be back with more news and sport after the break.
Good evening, welcome back to Newsline. I'm Matilda Marozzi. Sport and weather still to come, but right now Nathan Hewitt joins us with his take on the Lego movie.
Thanks, Matilda. The colourful building bricks that first captured our imagination as children have returned in a fully animated stop-motion epic almost 2 decades in the making. The Lego movie represents everything we've come to expect from the plastic toy, but directors Phil Lord and Christopher Miller have created a universe that both celebrates creation and provides a cautionary commentary on societal conformity. Emmett Brakowski is an everyday construction worker Lego man, living in a perfectly uniform Lego world where everything is awesome. Loneliness needs him to accidentally discover the special, a brick prophesies to threaten the reign of the malevolent ruler of the Lego universe, Lord Business.
Good morning, Floor. Ready to start the day. Here it is. Instructions to fit in, have everybody like you, and always be happy. Step 1, breathe. Okay, got that one down. Step 2, greet the day, smile, and say, Good morning, City!
The Lego movie shines where it delights in subtle, visual humour and context-free gags are a focus. They have assumed audiences are familiar with the rules of Lego and often make their humanoid Lego characters sadistically obey those rules for comedic effect. The Lego movie is quick-witted, self-aware and has plenty of Shaquille O'Neal. Catch it today.
Thanks, Nathan. Cheerleading in Australia has been growing rapidly in the last 5 years, with new cheerleading and dance schools popping up all over the country. But why is it not considered an official sport? Rose Houghton has this story.
Tumbling, jumps, stunts, synchronisation and execution. Welcome to the world of competitive cheerleading. Cheerleading has grown in popularity in the last 5 years, with a huge surge in teams throughout the whole of Australia. Natasha Mavinskas, the director and owner of Pure Alliance Cheer and Dance, started her own school and explains more.
We only do competitions. I mean, they practice all year to compete. So we never cheer for a team. We don't do any, rah-rah cheers. And there's nothing like that at all. It's just athleticism.
Made popular by Bring It On in 2000, cheerleading has turned into a thriving industry. However, within Australia, it has yet to be deemed an official sport. Cheerleading is often seen as lacking credibility because of people's misconceptions.
We don't cheer for anyone we do competitions. And, you know, they have no idea that there's a whole competitive world of cheerleading. They just assume it's literally, we go to a football game and we shake pom-poms and wear small outfits and cheer for them.
Rosemary Sims-James, the Program Director of the Australian All-Star Cheerleading Federation, isn't concerned with the Australian Sports Commission's lack of recognition, knowing that cheerleading in Australia is only on the rise.
You'd be naive to not realise the growth of the sport in such a short time. You know, we're expecting over 30,000 athletes through our competition series across the country this year.
The growth within the cheerleading industry demonstrates its need for recognition within Australian sports. Although the Australian Sports Commission is the governing body for sport within Australia, they chose not to comment. However, it seems with the growing rate of the industry, the Australian Sports Commission may regret not getting on board.
I think all of the people that aren't looking into what it is and aren't respecting what it is are going to be left behind, because this is a sport and it's one of the fastest growing sports in the world. And if people aren't jumping on the bandwagon and getting involved, they're going to lose out.
Cheerleading is here to stay. Most recently, the International Cheer Union received a place on the Sports Accord, the precursor to the Olympic Games. Watch out, because cheerleading is on the rise. Rose Houghton, Newsline.
Now to Nathan Stanogias with the latest in sport. Nathan, I hear there are exciting times ahead for a young golfer.
Yes, at 11 years old, Lucy Lee has become the youngest ever golfer to qualify for the US Women's Open. Lee of California earned her spot in the tournament by firing rounds of 74 and 68 at a sectional qualifying tournament. The 2014 Women's Open will run from June 19 to June 22. Australian duo Paddy Mills and Aaron Baines helped fuel a Game 1 victory for the San Antonio Spurs, beating the Oklahoma City Thunder 122 to 105. Mills finished with 5 points and 2 assists, while Baines had 2 points, 1 rebound and drew a crucial charge on Thunder star Kevin Durant. The winner of the best-of-7 series will face off against Eastern Conference combatants, the Miami Heat and Indiana Pacers. And in cricket news, Australia will return to Canberra when it plays South Africa for a one-day international in November. The ODI is a part of a 5-game series between the two heavyweights later in the year. An Indonesian striker has died after a goalkeeper kicked him in the stomach during a recent match, an official has said. Footage shows the opposing team's goalkeeper kicking the striker in the stomach as they jostled for the ball in the box. The Indonesian Football Association said they are investigating the incident.
Thanks, Nathan. To the weather now. For Melbourne, it was partly cloudy today, a top of 21. Tomorrow, windy with a possible late shower, 22 degrees. In Geelong, mostly sunny today, 21. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with isolated showers, heading to a top of 22 degrees.
And that's all until tomorrow from the Newsline team of RMIT journalism and TAFE television production students. Good night.